confusing here.
Can you hear everybody here?
I'll send it to you.
Everything is.
We don't take our rules of procedure record? Okay, can you print off copies of them in one of the folders? Thanks. Just in case I got salted.
So what are we doing with the invoices over 5? You gonna print a copy?
It's only 3 of them, but I would send it to work.
You gonna send them, but you gotta send all to council, they gotta see them.
The only thing that always tightens me up is, you got a motion and someone wants to make a new, the attorney, you know, I understand. But going back to the process of what you have to do first.
Oh, yeah.
Get back to the original now. Just don't do that. Don't do it. No, Trump. I'm sorry. Nah. Good. All right. I might as well add her in there. What's her name? Is that name?
And they're all written down at the same.
No, the one from the home.
For the evening, I know there's no minutes here. No, we don't have any minutes of
Oh,
last
Mark,
night,
I got a chance to check.
but the respectful workplace
Yeah.
policies there. Is that, have we not already approved that?
No, we approved it, we just had to adopt it. by
Okay.
motion. Just a motion to accept,
Okay,
to adopt the new,
just in case Mary's not.
right.
We're live? So this is
What about emailing all that?
At town, please.
Mary's gonna be a little bit late.
They may do.
You are there, are you, Councilor Casper?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. This is Councilor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good to see everybody.
Well, we can't see you.
We can't see you.
How come?
I'm not sure.
I see you got that thing across your computer again.
Do you have your,
Your-
window closed on your,
Computer?
on your
Yes.
video up top? Yeah, your
Yeah.
little window up top on your laptop?
You
Do
have to
that
have
closed?
your camera on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have, down in the corner of, the screen, there's audio and video, do you have that turned on?
You should have that
You can see us, we have all of ours on. But anyway, we can hear you, so that's most important.
So they don't even see me.
Yeah.
I'm too blind up anyway.
Oh,
Poor fella.
Too burnt up.
You wouldn't recognize me.
okay. All right, I'm gonna let the public in now.
Okay.
All right. Down there?
Pardon? No,
Down now?
no, I'll have a look, I'm away from my desk now.
Let's do a blank screen
I'll
there.
still black. Play three.
Okay, we'll just go through the agenda, and when we go through the agenda, the mayor will, let you know when it's time to either step up to the podium or whatever, okay? If you'd like a copy of the agenda, it's there on the desk. Did you confirm it? We both did confirm with her. Okay.
Kim, just, yeah.
Some is pretty slow, yeah. I don't know why.
Not me.
we ready? All right.
Your mic there, your mic there, man.
Now we're ready. All right, everybody, welcome to our regular public council meeting for Monday, September 16th, 2024. Call our meeting to order. Before we do that, new business. Councillor Tapper.
Pass.
Okay, pass. Councillor Manning.
Congratulations.
Grants. Councillor Pollard.
Pass.
Pass. Councillor Epley.
Thank you and congratulations.
Councillor Goss.
Pass, please.
Deputy Mayor has a birthday greeting. She's going to be a little late. And I have a thanks.
All right, everybody, welcome to our regular public council meeting for Monday, September 16th, 2024. Call our meeting to order.
That fella sounds like you know what he's saying. All right. Good now?
All right, everybody, welcome to our regular public council meeting for Monday, September 16th.
Like it so much?
I gotta have volume
Call
for
our meeting
Councillor
to
Tapper.
order.
Gotta have volume.
New business. Councillor Tapper.
Technology. It's wonderful. Good now? I'll wait 5 minutes, see if I can hear myself. Party nightmare? Pretty good? Okay. All right. Moving right along. Is there anybody who would like to get on the first Q&A? I always forget that, but I didn't tonight. All right, seeing none. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, we have a set of public council meeting minutes for August 12th, 2024. Could I get a motion to adopt, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Adoption of special public council minutes for September 9th, 2024.
So moved.
Moved and
Second.
seconded. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Conflict of interest, our little sheet is out there. Have a look at that. And as always, if something comes up, make sure you mention it at the time the issue comes to the floor. Proclamations, presentations, Q&A. So we got 2 proclamations here. Or do we have 3? We have, okay, 2. I forgot to give them out. Silly me. Councillor Eppy, would you like to do that first one? Childhood Cancer Proclamation, please?
Sure.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
All good.
And Councillor Goss, you can do the second one, if you don't mind.
That's good.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, yeah.
Are you ready for me to go?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. All right, the proclamation for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month for September 2024. Whereas there are about 10,000 children living with cancer in Canada today, And whereas each year, about 1,600 cases are diagnosed, over 25 of which are children in Newfoundland and Labrador. Whereas in Canada, childhood cancer remains responsible for more deaths from 1 year through adolescence than any other disease. And whereas about 1 in 4 children who are diagnosed with cancer will die of this disease, the disease. Whereas because of significant advances in therapy, 78% of children diagnosed with cancer will survive 5 years or more, an increase of almost 46% since the early 1960s. Whereas childhood cancers have close to a 75% cure rate, with leukemia leading the success charge with close to 90% overall cure rate.
Now therefore, I, Craig Scott, on behalf of the town of Torbay, do hereby proclaim September 2024 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the town of Torbay. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments?
I think I will, if I
Right.
can. Thank you, Mayor. This is something that strikes close to home. I've got friends who've lost children with cancer. One of my ex-boyfriends is a cancer survivor, actually when we were teenagers. And some of my friends from home are cancer survivors from, being children and diagnosed. And, this is something, again, it's really important to make sure that we're bringing awareness in the community, talking about it. When you're dealing with something as traumatic as this, it can feel very isolating, knowing that you've got a welcoming, inclusive community who cares. It's certainly important in times like these, and knowing that your neighbor is going to come out and help and support and be there with and for you. So thank you for the opportunity to read the proclamation, and I'm very glad to see that our town are recognizing this as an important thing to make sure that we're talking about in our community as well. It can strike anyone at any time, so thank you.
Any other comment? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. And we do have somebody here, Erin Collette?
Erin is unavailable apparently. I
Oh,
was
okay.
expecting her. I didn't hear from her, but.
All right, and we have the Osbourne family, which is you.
Osbourne.
Osbourne, sorry.
It's okay.
You didn't put the R in. You can come up to the microphone, you want to have a couple of words, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Tim Osbourne. I've been part of the Candlelighters group now for almost 18 years. My daughter's 18 now, and she was diagnosed with cancer just when she was, I'd say, about 20 months old. So, to get community support such as you folks have given today and anywhere across the island, across Canada, this is a testament where the support is going. To go through this when my wife and I were only young when we had our first child, and then realized before she's 2 years old that she has cancer, stage 4 neuroblastomas. The prognosis wasn't good. But with the health care that we received and then the ongoing support through the Candlelighters and all the avenues that they've provided with different events that they do and things that they do for childhood survivors, not that it makes it easier, but it just, everybody can come together and everyone's on the same page for what they've had to go through. So it certainly lessens the burden. And it gives the kids something to look forward to with all the things that the Candlelighters have helped us out with as well. So. Again, just for myself and Hannah and my whole family, and I'm sure on behalf of the Candlelighters, we'd like to express our extreme appreciation for your help and support.
Excellent, thank you,
All right.
Hannah, and we're glad that you're here to get a picture with me.
So she won't speak, but she'll get the picture.
We'll swap here, so everybody, our millions of viewers on the web can see us. Very much. All right. Next one. Is Sharon Wilton here? No? Okay. Next one is wrongful conviction day. Councillor Goss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wrongful Conviction Day, October 2nd, 2024. Whereas the loss of one's freedom due to a wrongful conviction has far-reaching and devastating consequences. which not only affects the innocent individual's life, but also affects the quality of life of their families and has a harmful effect on society as a whole. And whereas wrongful convictions question the integrity and fairness of the criminal justice system, and unless corrected, undermines society's trust in their criminal justice system. And whereas Wrongful Conviction Day is a global movement dedicated to advocating for innocent individuals who have been wrongly convicted of a crime they did not commit. The implementation and recognition of this day is a start to reaching a broader audience regarding the importance surrounding miscarriages of justice. A proclamation that will assist to advocate, educate, and create awareness around those miscarriages of justice in hope for reform to minimize the effect it could have on another individual.
Therefore, I, Craig Scott of Torbay, do hereby proclaim October 2nd, 2024 as Wrongful Conviction Day in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, town of Torbay. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comment? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. We'll get a picture with that one after, Kim. So, the next item on our agenda was supposed to be a certificate of bravery, but it appears our recipient is not here. So we'll have to follow up with her, or maybe we'll get her back next meeting, because I think it's very important that we do that. However, John Callahan is here to talk about his Torbay 5K run. John, floor is yours, buddy.
As I guess most people here know me, I'm John Callahan.
Can you fix that microphone a little bit?
Yeah.
You're so tall that
Yeah,
nobody
there we
will
go.
hear you.
Anyhow, yeah, I'm John Callahan. I also known as the running realtor, but I've been 23 years now in the Torbay Fire Department. I'm the captain of the Flat Rock Station, and couple years ago, this is my second year doing the Torbay 5K run walk. It was in aid of the mental health awareness. The thing is that it's been successful in the last 2 years. It's we have 100 participants, and what we normally do with the 100 participants, we have a registration of $35, which covers the bib. There's a little buff in here and metal. So it costs $25 for those contents. I charge us $35 for registration, and so 100 people, $10 a person. We got a $1,000 registration donation that we put out to Mental Health Association. Then myself, I had discharge drugs this year, made the move, and the physiotherapy came on board as we're 4 sponsors ourselves, so we donated another $1,000. So we had the CEO of Mental Health Association came down, we presented her with a check of $2,000 donation. Now, I had Jen work with me, and Brian Winter worked with me actually on sweeping the roads, doing some setting up the Jack Byrne to arena for we had a little reception over there because we hosted it across the road at the Karen Drive. We did it all in Pine Ridge Creek. Yep. And so it was like I said, it's not a competition run. It's not one that we need to have like people to think. It's more for awareness. We had 4 people from the fire department. They walked it in their bunker gear, full bunker gear, all, and they had shows of support there for the fire department and the first responders, because a lot of stuff happens with the first responders that through mental health is, there's stuff that you can't unsee. We go out and see calls all the time. Some of the stuff you see there is not the prettiest things you might see. So that was the reason why I actually started that run. It's and like I said, I'm going to continue it. There's no money made. It's total 100% fundraiser. I'm thanking the town because I'm using the town's name, Torbay 5K, and I'm also thanking all you guys as councillors and the mayor for supporting me. And the only thing I asked next year, if you were willing to do it, if you wanted to add to the donation that we make to the Canadian Mental Health, that'd be muchly appreciated. So if you want, I got 2 medals left here. One's from last year, it's a yellow one, and this year was blue. Its symbol is a happy face, and that's the Mental Health Awareness logo. So we had these. Last year's was yellow. Oh, this year was blue. So we're going to continue with the medals the same, just going to add different colors for every year. This year was the Torbay blue, yeah, right? So,
Nice.
and then this is it. So I'm going to leave this for the council. So this, you guys will want to, I don't know, use them or
Well,
post
I'll
it.
jump up and get them off you now in a second. We'll do a picture
Okay.
of your, and we'll post it on our social media about the good job that you did.
Yeah, and like I said, this year we had 100 people, and we had people calling me that wanted more. And like this year now, I don't know if you're all aware, but there was an incident with one of the first responders for paramedics. And next year, I think we're going to have a bigger supporting people from the paramedic, group coming down, because it's, it's kind of like, there's mental health, I guess, has various different issues, but a lot of it, when it comes down to first responders is, there's a lot of stuff that's being seen that, it's not the prettiest stuff, right? So, again, thanks for the support from the town, and I think it's a good initiative for the town, because it just shows that the town is willing to contribute to different, things when it comes to different events within the community. And if we want, we can add, because I'm going to do it again next year, and if we can add it to the calendar, and then it can be on, like some of the social medias and stuff like that, and be kind of promoted.
Sure.
Like, I could have made it this year a bit bigger, but I don't think I'm going to make it any bigger than 100 people, because as it gets bigger, it gets more harder to manage. But it's a good thing for the town, and I think it's good for everyone that's involved.
John, is excellent. Thank you for doing that. Also, thank you for the work that you put in with the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department. I know it's not an easy job. And to your point about mental health, this place around here can do wonders on your mental health too. So we understand exactly what, what people go through. But I know I tried to get there this year. I couldn't do it, but hopefully if I can figure out the date next year, I'll be able to.
Well, I'll be able to. I think it's going to be the last 2 years. Last year was August 19th. This year was August 17th. So it's going to be within that same thing, maybe within that same time, right? Because it falls within just after the regatta and everything else. So it's a good window of for to have it. And like I said, it was Brian was there. Brian actually helped volunteer, and it was like well received from all the communities. Not even just like people came there from Biddler's Bay, from Spaniards Bay, from Holyrood and all that. Because I go to an awful lot of runs all over the other communities as well. But and people say that like it was well received, and well looked after. So it was a good thing for me and the group that organized it.
So I'll remember when it is, because it's on my anniversary weekend. That's just what I need now for that. Something else to do on my anniversary.
Well, listen, the intent of it is not a competition. It was actually out there, like I said, the boys walked it, and the last person that came in across the finish line got the biggest cheer, then the first fellows that raced it, and came in first. So, and we had prizes there that we give away that I got from the other businesses within the town that give me stuff that helped promote their own business, and pretty well everyone walked away with something, plus they had their medal and stuff as well, right? So.
Excellent. Anybody else have any comment? Go ahead.
If I could, thanks, Mayor. Thank you, Joan. I was at the one last year, and I was registered for this year. My daughter and I were going to run it. It's the first one that Kathy would have actually run an official race. But we weren't well that morning, so we reached out and said we couldn't make it. So John was kind enough to come down to the house and drop off Kathy and my kit, our bib, our medals, our gear, and we are going to run it. I'm just recovering from COVID, but as soon as we can, we're going to get up and do that. This is incredible. Mayor referenced that, public service can absolutely impact your mental health, and it can certainly be challenging at times. That can happen. It can also be very rewarding at times, but what you guys do, how you respond at all hours of the day, all hours of the night, in all weather conditions, when people are at their, greatest hour of need, that is so appreciated. Thank you. So from the bottom of my heart, with all the work that I know you and Trixie put into this, because you guys are the backbone who put it together and make sure that, the sponsors come in, everybody gets signed up. And I watched firsthand what you did last year and this year, and I just wanted to have the opportunity to say thank you, because it's really something that you're doing. Hats off, my friend. Hats off.
You have a comment?
Yeah, I'd just like to say as well, John, we really appreciate what you do in terms of, your volunteerism, your community initiative with this, and your being part of the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department. We very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, thanks, John. I think it's great timing too, because we are going into budget season, so maybe we'll put that on the list as well, to see if we can help you out in some other way as well.
Thank you.
And just to repeat what everyone else has said, certainly thank you for everything that you do, certainly with the fire hall, but on this initiative too. Mental health is, each and every one of us, as much as we don't talk about it, has somewhere along the line had a dealing with it, so even to put it out there now, and it's more.
And that was the reason why, like, I mean, a lot of people think about mental health and just even getting out for a walk or a little bit of exercise or something like that. That definitely helps the, you know, take, I guess, a little bit of the edge off it or whatever, you know. So, like I said, man, this is my 23rd year now with the fire department, like I said, and like, it's getting harder because it's not every call that just you don't want to roll up on, right? So, and like I said, it's good.
Ralph, you there?
You can hear us.
Okay.
Mayor, could I ask if maybe we could ask the committee, the Corporate Services Committee, to have a look and see if there is any overages, to see if there's any possibility of a donation for the run this year? I don't know if there would be, but if we could ask the committee to have a look at it.
All right.
Actually, they're nice. I get these made out of Ontario, they're custom made. Not manufacturing.
Ready? Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. All right. All right. Moving right along. That was nice. Okay, Q&A, we don't have nobody. Mayor's report. We should go to do the birthdays for September. September 2nd, Paul Roach, Recreation Community Services. And also September 2nd, Infrastructure Public Works, Dave Murrin. And I would also like to add a very happy birthday to Isabel McKinnon, who I had the opportunity to go and visit the other day and present her with a certificate on behalf of the town for her 100th birthday. And she's up at North Pond Manor, and they had a big old blowout party for her. I wasn't able to stay for the party, unfortunately. I had work and town meeting commitments that I had to make. But I did have an opportunity to go up to her and visit with her and have a chat. And there's a person with a fountain of knowledge and a lifetime of experience. And I really enjoy having those opportunities to go and speak with our seniors in particular. And, you know, God love her heart. So, and thank you to Lauralee for reaching out to me to go up and participate in that. It was a lot of fun, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you to her. All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, John.
Okay,
Thanks,
see you, John. Correspondence, there are none. Nobody wants to talk to us. It's fine. Committees of council, committee of the whole.
Sorry, where's the business arising?
Oh, business arising. Tony's favorite thing. You got something, Tony?
No, my usual question, though. And I
Okay.
just want to know if we've heard anything back from, I guess, the federal government in terms of that change of a department that we have to go through.
I haven't heard anything yet. We met recently.
Was that Wednesday?
Mid last week. We met
week,
with
yeah.
them, and they did commit to getting more information to us with respect to the infrastructure, federal infrastructure department. But I haven't heard anything back from them yet.
Okay.
He did say he would need a little bit of lead time. So.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. Correspondence, we have none. Nobody wants to talk to us. Committees of council, committee of the whole. Motions are required for committee of the whole minutes. We got committee of the whole dated August 6, 2024. I don't have any links here to minutes. There are no minutes in there?
No, I got them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Down
see
below,
it.
yeah.
All right, so we have a set of minutes from the committee of the whole dated August 6th, 2024. Can I get a motion to adopt, please?
One second, your worship, please.
What?
Sorry. Is there a motion in the package? I didn't see it for the adoption of the emergency plan.
We did that.
I thought that was done,
We
wasn't
did
it?
that a couple of meetings ago.
No, it was done at committee of the whole, but had come forward. It says here, a motion will come forward at our next public council meeting to adopt the new revised 2024 emergency plan.
Well, see, that was August 9th minutes, and we deferred them.
Yeah, because they weren't in the package.
August 6th, sorry. So we deferred them, so we did that at the last.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought that was done.
my apologies, sorry. Yep.
Okay, so is there anything there that we need to adopt? Just the minutes.
Yes.
All right, could I get a motion to adopt those, please? First set.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Comments? Errors, omissions, sorry. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. And the second one, same, Sandy, there's no decisions in there? All right, can I get a motion to adopt the minutes for September 9th, please?
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
seconded. Errors or omissions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Motion
you.
would come through the
Oh.
committees anyway, right?
Look at that, the links are right there.
That is.
Oh, my eyes. My eyes. Planning land use development. Councillor Power, take her away.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the 11th, so there's a number of items here for motions. The first one deals with a variance request for 45 Lower Street. Committee reviewed, there's a background report there, and there's no objections to the application for a 10% variance increase for the proposed accessory building at 45 Lower Street. So motion to conditionally approve application MB 2024-002 for a proposed 10% variance to the maximum permitted lot coverage for accessory buildings in the RMD land use zone at 45 Lower Street to be able to accommodate the construction of a 52.8 square meter large garage in the location of the existing home on the lot in accordance with regulations 11, 12, and 33 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025, subject to conditions recommended in the attached background report. So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Next one is for a residential or in-law suite at 5 Brixton Crescent. So we reviewed the information and all seems to be in order anyway. So motion to conditionally approve application 2024-080 for the proposed construction of a single dwelling with in-law suite at 5 Brixton Crescent in accordance with regulations 33 and 90 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025 pertaining to discretionary uses, the RLL land use zone table, and conditions outlined in attached background report. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
The next relates to an application for 45A Morris Avenue, subdivide and consolidation of land.
Can I just interrupt you for a second, sir? Councillor Tapper, are you still there?
I was just asking.
I can't hear him and I can't see him. Just that second.
Yeah.
But we can't hear him.
We can't hear you.
Microphone is in use by Zoom.
Ah, okay. All right.
He just told me that second he could.
You can communicate in the chat room, though, can you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Okay, so if he has any, for his,
He will, yeah. He's not muted. And well, I turn it a little bit.
okay. Ralph, use your thumbs up or thumbs down for your votes, please. Don't mind. Okay, perfect, thank you.
We're chatting over here.
All right, sorry, sir, carry on.
No problem. Yeah, so as I was saying, this is for a subdivide and consolidation of land to an extension to existing single-family dwelling, 45A Morris Avenue. Now, the current lot is considered legal non-conforming, so it does exist within the town's regulations, and the extension here and the subdivision of land actually makes it become more in compliance with the existing regulations. So a motion to conditionally approve applications 2023-036 and 2023-004 for the proposed subdivision of land off the property at 41 to 45 Morris Avenue to consolidate the property at 45A Morris Avenue in accordance with Regulation 49 pertaining to legal non-conforming uses and conditions outlined in attached background report to facilitate a proposed extension to the existing dwelling at 45A Morris Avenue. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? The mayor is here.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Next one is for the lifting of an order. It relates to 1593 Torbay Road. We knew that there was a demolition order out on that particular building. So a motion to rescind the demolition order regarding the property at 1593 Torbay Road issued by the town on August 13, 2024, as the order has been complied with and the derelict building has been removed from site, subject to the collection of a $1,000 order release fee as per the 2024 tax and fee structure. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And last motion to
Opposed?
accept
Carried.
Torbay 2024 permit listings for weeks ending September 12, 2024 as tabled. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And your worship, the rest of the information is there for everyone
Okay.
to read in terms of what's going on with the planning department at the present time.
All right, thank you.
So
Anybody have any
report.
questions on any of this or stuff?
Can I
Okay.
make a comment
About what?
about the other stuff that's there?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think that there's a lot of really good, important information that's in there, and I guess planning and public works normally just read out the motions that's there, whereas other committees read out, there may not be motions, but go down over it, and I just want to emphasize the fact that if we're going to do that for one, because there is a lot of really valid information that's in there and updates.
Right.
So we either need, I think we should do it either one way or the other
Well, I mean,
for,
it's up to the person delivering the report what they want to highlight, right?
yeah, I know, but I had been told in the past that it was just to read out motions, so we can read out everything now?
I mean, we can, it's the person that's the chair of the committee that's delivering the report dictates
no.
what it is that they're going to read.
Well, that's the way, it hasn't been that way, but that's fine,
That was always that way.
if you say so, okay.
Okay, all right.
We can certainly highlight some other things if we
Yes.
wish. I'm just not gonna do it right now. I'll put it in a different order for when I read out next time, because if not, I'll end up reading out everything that's there at the present time.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, admin and HR.
We don't have a report.
Yep, Deputy Mayor,
I didn't think there was a report.
there's
No
a
report.
motion here.
Yeah,
Just to respect the workplace policy.
hold on. I'm just getting in there.
Motion's not written out here though, is it?
I haven't
No.
said.
No, so it'll just be a motion to, adopt.
Revised. Policy for
As written.
Okay, so it wasn't there, sorry.
No, I just did that one.
Okay. All right then, so, a motion, oh my God. A motion to accept the revised respectful workplace policy and harassment prevention plan as per, the last update. So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, comments?
Thanks, Mayor. Just a couple of notes. Number one, I did speak with CAO today and I asked the question about the lawyers being there as the alternates for if there's a complaint to be made. And because I know I'm gonna get the question in the public, I just wanted to be clear that that is, the intention there is not for the lawyers to conduct that at legal fee costs. It's to have the ability to accept it and advise people what the actual, what they can and can't do. So I think it's just important that we clarify that before we adopt this so people understand what that role is. And, back to the second point, I guess, that I'm gonna make. It's come to my attention this past week about circumstances where members of our staff have been experiencing situations that have been received as not comfortable places to be. And it's a very disturbing situation when you have a team that work with you and for the betterment of the community. And when I go to work every day, I want to go to a safe workplace that's free of those sorts of activities. And in the revised copy here, it talks about if our staff is experiencing something like that from someone in the public, that they can report to you, to the CAO, and actions can be taken. But I would ask that committee go back and look a little bit more about what happens to protect the frontline staff when they're experiencing situations like that. It says that we would look into it, but it's very clear. If someone were to take an action, they could be asked to issue an apology. Are there actions that can be taken? If it's repeat, behavior, are there any recourse that council can ask someone to please, not be in that space? Or I don't know what the answers are. I'm gonna certainly ask them to be looked at. There's definitely, tighter language here on how we address some of these issues in the community. But I do know that, and I hear it in the community as well. I hear stories about things that are not true, and someone will say, such a did this, or a staff person did that, or a counselor did this, and it's really interesting, the stuff that I had no part of, that I'm listening going, I did what now? Yes, but that's wonderful. But you know what, it's time for change. There's a time for people to be accountable for their behaviors, and if you speak mistruths, for there to be some accountability for that. So bravo for the work to tighten this up and patch what needed to be done here. But I just wanted to make sure that issue about clarity around why the lawyers are in there and what the rules are. And the second piece would be to ask that we go back and look again about what happens when it comes to dealing with someone outside who may be feeling frustrated and whatever their issue is, but we're responsible for our own behaviors, and we need to conduct ourselves in a kind, respectful way at town facilities and in town spaces. So if I could leave it there, but those are the comments that I had before we adopt it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Do you have anything else, Deputy Mayor?
No, that's it.
Anything else in there? Okay. Corporate Services, Councillor Goss.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, as in the package, the information is there for review and any questions if anybody has. I have the invoices for council approval. The following invoices totaling $61,890.52 are presented for approval. So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded. Comments?
I thought we were going to read those out. The last time we had that conversation around the table was decided that for anyone who may be listening to the council, if we're being an inclusive community and we're talking about motions that we're bringing forward, if someone's blind and they can't read the package, the opportunity will be to listen to the meeting and hear the numbers that are being brought out. So if I could ask that it be read out, please, if that's okay. Sorry, Councillor Goss.
Oh, it's no problem. I didn't know that we had actually made a decision about that, but
We talked about that in the chamber.
yeah, I know, we talked
A
about it.
while
but-
back, yeah.
but-
If we could, please.
Invoice number 202434618 in the amount of $9,506.95. Invoice The first one was from the town of Flat Rock. This one, 550 H&M Paving, $43,987.50. And invoice number 267673, Wares Construction Co. Limited, $8,396.07. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Also, for the Corporate Services Committee motions, there's a donation request for the Pat softball field to be waived. A resident had reached out who wanted the host a co-ed softball tournament in support of the Sandra Smurder Scholarship Fund, looking for that donation for the field September 27th to the 29th. The donation in kind would be valued at $560 plus tax. The committee recommends rejecting the request based on being it a national organization, and our donation request policy is more aligned with supporting local groups and organizations. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comments? I just curious why we even need a motion for this.
Well, we talked about it in committee, and it's just we wanted to, I guess, have it on the record of why we were not supporting this.
Okay.
So just for clarification purposes.
Fair enough.
Right, and given the fact that we said we're in the process of revising the donation policy and things around that, so we didn't think there was necessarily a committee decision to be made, but I'm in committee bringing forward a recommendation one way or another, and we always bring forward positive, so we have to bring forward ones that, we don't necessarily agree with as well. It's not our decision at the end of the day, it's council, so.
Okay, good enough. Councillor Eckley?
Thank you, Mayor. This is something that we talked about as well at the Recreation Community Services Committee meeting. I think it's really important that we go back and we look at how we go about doing this. The last time that we took a vote on the donation of the ball field, we took that decision because it was after the event had happened and council hadn't had the opportunity to decide prior to. But the intent and the conversation at that time was we weren't doing it anymore. And then motion to donation request Pat Doss softball field waived. Did we motion that actually? I don't know if there was a motion.
For what?
For the Pat Doss softball field to be waived. Was there a motion to council for that? No. So I think, I'm not disputing that, I'm just correcting it because it says here motion to that we would. But I think in all honesty, this is something, I agree with committee's thinking here. This is not something that's specific to Torbay. And I think that this conversation needs to be about, what is it that people are asking for? Are they asking in advance? Does council have the time and ability to allocate resources? I think it's a good idea if council does allocate some in-kind contribution for something such as the Pat Da that's been happening for so long in memory of someone who has contributed so much to this community, and that money is used, at the school to give out scholarships. So I think if we look at each of these requests on a as request basis, so that, it happens before the council, before the event, that it's asked and approved by council, that there is a connection to the community and we can substantiate what that is. And I think at budget time, I think that we have a conversation about how much we feel is reasonable, not just for the softball field, but the soccer field or the common or whatever town facility, and understanding that that's an opportunity that we could do certain things. If somebody, God forbid, had a house fire, or if there was something that happened and you wanted to have a softball tournament or something to raise money, I think it's important that the council has the flexibility to be able to consider that and adopt it before the event. So we had a fulsome conversation at our committee meeting, and recommendation coming out of that was that we come back to committee whole and have a broader discussion about these things, and then ask staff to take it away and develop a framework so that there is a understanding for operational activities, so that's clear for staff what they, what we can and can't do, and then if there is a motion required, then it be brought forward to council and we sort it that way. That way it's equal and fair opportunity to everybody, and that when we do need the ability to provide resources to, you know, people and groups that are connected to the community, doing good in the community, the council has that flexibility. So I would ask that, that we look at that if we could and have a broader discussion, set in a policy that works and makes sense, that's equal and fair, and then take it from there.
Right, I think we've already committed to do that at budget time
Excellent.
in regards to all of our donation policy.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Okay,
thank you.
you're coming?
I just, when I first read that, and if I heard it correctly, that motion, to donate request for the pet dog field, that wasn't for anything to do with the tournament, the pet dog tournament?
No, nothing to do with
That had, that has nothing to do with the tournament, that's the name of the field?
Yes.
So I think that the two,
Right. yeah.
that's important, and I think at our last meeting, that we talked about anytime anything comes in for a donation off a field, that's revenue, that recreation, that Jen and they're looking at to pay for everything, so it's not something that you can just look at waiving the field, because that's their revenue that they're looking at having for other things. If you do it for one, you need to do it for all, so.
Okay,
Just to put in my 2 cents worth, as Councillor Appleby said, me being the chair there of the rec committee, it is a discussion that we're going to put in front of all councillors so that we can come to a consensus on the best approach going forward, and if there's any policies needed to be created, because it is time now. Anything that usually goes on in at the field, or definitely on the fields, and that's what I'm familiar with, they're fundraisers for something. It's either an organization or a family in need and stuff like that. So that's the discussion we as a council have to have, and come to, like I said, come to consensus in going forward, because there's so many requests coming in now. That's
Okay.
it. Thank you.
I'll just add to that, Mr. Mayor. So we, as a corporate services, you know, we want to look at the broader spectrum of this. It's not just about the softball field. It's about all the infrastructure that we have and the ability to, whether do in kind or whatever it is, a donation. We want more of a sweeping look at things to see exactly where revenue is being lost here. So we've talked about that as corporate services. I'm sure recreation, and we're hoping to get something back further on that so we can all talk about it as a council.
okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
We have them on video now.
All right. Economic development, tourism, history, culture. Councillor Tapper, he can't hear us. He can't,
Oh,
can he
Can.
speak now? Sounds turned off for everyone. Okay. Can't hear you, Ralph, sorry.
We're getting feedback.
You're giving me feedback now.
Oh, I see. We'll get Deputy Mayor to read it, go to do the report, all right? Okay, Deputy Mayor?
all right. We met on the September 9th, and I'm just thinking that, is that the meeting? I thought you sat in on that meeting.
I did, yes.
So committee, it's Councillor Manning sat in for Councillor Tapper, so we can get that changed in the minutes.
Okay.
And economic development, Lower Street Stage, they're going to install the 3rd pole on the site. There's no charge to the town. Pecos Ridge Memorial Project, the dedication ceremony went really well on August 28. The family and all those in attendance were really delighted with it. There's one thing, and I noticed that director is not here tonight, but we were going to have another event or dedication or communication go out to the public, because there was nothing that went out to the public on that. So if we can make sure that in the next little while everything is up there, that maybe you can get Cameron to do a communication or whatever Carrie's got planned for it, but we need to advise the public of it. And the webpage, they've done some changes, updates on the webpage. Marketing communications, that's all straightforward. Fall market, oh, this is interesting, that the fall market is scheduled for October the 20th at the Common. And people that were there last year, they'll be contacted. And they're meeting with the Association of New Canadians to determine the possibility of a multicultural component. Potential funding opportunity there for the LM Settlement and Immigration Program. Marketing and communications, the fall guide is available online and has been distributed to local businesses and mailed out. That's basically it. The update for the History House, and I can't get it. So there's an issue with that, so unfortunately, I don't know if anybody else can get it.
The update?
The update for the History House?
No, locks me out.
Yeah, so Carrie was going to follow up on that. We mentioned that at the last because there was an update, and I noticed today that the fall programming and everything is available, so there is an update in there. So for anybody or residents that are listening, I suggest that you go in on Facebook for the History House and Museum, that there are information in there for upcoming programs, and I shared it on my site and that today as well. So can we follow up and get that? Can maybe something that you need to look at, they can't, they're they can't connect for whatever reason. Carrie can't connect to the History House website for the package.
Okay.
And it's been like it now for the past few months, so we're missing the update then from Cameron, not from Cameron, from Noah.
It must be a security issue.
It must be, I got locked out too.
Can you get, okay,
It
yeah,
locked me out, I had to go.
okay, yeah, we talked
Took me
about
out of
it.
iCompass altogether, actually.
Is that
Probably
right?
best to get him to provide you with PDF and load it with the rest of the
Well,
council.
it is, but I can change the security settings on it.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah, okay,
Okay.
all right,
Know that.
okay, thank you. That's it.
It's the same thing.
And I'd like to thank, I guess, part of that for Noah and the recreation staff, that for the many concerts and that they had for the summer. I think that there was 44, I think, in total between the Common down at the beach and at the History House and Museum. And they were all very well attended, so a big thank you to everyone involved in doing that. And that was part of the report and everything as well in there, so.
Thank you.
Okay,
Kim, because it appears, so there's a new business link there too? Any link from Civic Portal that goes external to the web won't work. So, yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Infrastructure and Public Works, Councillor Appleby.
Thank you, Mayor. Myself and Brian connected, and we had a review of the council package. In a nutshell, we chat about the trail development and work that's been ongoing there. The safety lights for the fire department, the sand salt storage shed, the sidewalk construction phase 2. Brian did note there were some deficiencies, so they are looking at that. I think it's really important to talk about that because, you know, we put a lot of effort in to make sure that this did not interfere with back to school and the scheduling of it. And I know that I actually had someone come to me and say, well, didn't you think about tourism and economic development when you were doing it in the summer months? And we're like, yes, we thought about that too. We've been, you know, trying to find, there really is no good time to be, you know, doing this sort of work when it comes to things being slowed down. But just wanted to note that, you know, Brian is doing the due diligence there to make sure that, you know, if there are any deficiencies, that they're followed up on and that we get that sorted. So people do see, you know, any further work there. It's the council making sure that we're getting the bang for our buck and things are done right. There's a conversation about the culvert replacement for Woodfines Lane and Moores Valley Road. And there's been some email correspondence since about that, but I know the director provided an update and let us know what's going on with that. The pump house analysis project was talked about, the fuel system upgrade project, the town office, and the Torbay Fire Department Annex renovation project. So there's a motion here for that, and I'll read it out. The motion is to award tender T202409-11 renovations to town office and Torbay Volunteer Fire Department Annex to First Call Electrical and Contracting in the amount of $111,000 plus $14,000 for the shingling of the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department Annex for a total project cost of $125,000, taxes included. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. So the projects are here under the Canada Community Building Fund, and the updates on the status for those are provided. Other projects that we have for 2024 are listed, and the multi-year capital works projects were discussed. And I'm just gonna run through the notes here. There's an awful lot of content. The common generator project, so there's a motion here for that as well. And the motion reads, be it resolved that we, excuse me, hold on, glasses might help. Be it resolved that we, the ultimate recipient town of Torbay, accept cost-sharing funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation Infrastructure Project Approval Letter dated the 26th day of August 2024, project number 17-MYCW-22-00066, Torbay Common Generator Project, with a total project value of $385,054.79. This council board ICG agrees to provide the ultimate recipient share value of $174,590.54 in funding for this project, and authorizes the mayor and town clerk to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the town of Torbay. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, and I just wanted to note that is cost shared, so that the residents of Torbay are paying a fraction of the fee for that. And it is definitely something that we know that we need for emergency management planning and those sorts of things. Water and wastewater projects, there's an update here on what's happening with that. I know that one of the things that Brian had mentioned in the meeting, talking about phase 3, he talked about the FCM has a green municipal green infrastructure fund, and so what we're looking at is making an application under that fund for the $2 million and change that we have here, with the hope that if it is approved, then that money can be reallocated elsewhere with the town. So it's great to see the town, taking advantage of the opportunity that's there. And I want to thank the director for his work on that. And we'll keep council updated, sorry, it's been a long day, updated on the status of what's happening there. But a potential $2 million savings for the town of Torbay here, if approved under the FCM Green Infrastructure Fund. So just wanted to share that. There's a couple of motions here under land acquisition. So I'm gonna change this a little bit. The discussion that we had, we did receive the appraisal, and the appraisal for the property at 17 Pump House Road is $50,000. That's what we've been advised the property is worth. So what we had talked about, I asked the director to send a note out to council to make council aware of it. And I didn't see any responses to the email. The intention wasn't to take a decision, but the intention was to say, hey council, there's $50,000 is what we expect. So the motion says right now to offer the property owner $50,000 for the property. I think I'd like to change the motion if I could to acknowledge that it's $50,000 and accept the, I see it. But that wasn't what we talked about at committee, so I just wanted to maybe I'll let the director speak to it first.
Yeah, so, like I said, so what went out in the email was the two options.
Yeah.
I didn't get any response, so I put the two options in there. So it's either option one or option two is what I want council to
There's
decide
no
on.
response, we just put in both options.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and I discussed it with CEO
All
on
right,
that. So
and I
So
apologize.
it's either one or two.
Yeah.
And I
Not both.
apologize, because I misread that.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, what we understood and what we understand is the second option right now to offer the motion for the parcel of the land that we expect may be required to be purchased by the town, which is the $8,404. And then that
Per
way.
acre.
Pardon?
Per acre.
Per acre.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that the person who owns the property would like to continue to own as much of their property as they can, Brian. Am I correct in understanding that?
That's correct, yeah. So the option two really is that there's 5.9 acres in total, 5.95.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, property owner is looking to retain some if possible. And right now, before the final design, and where this is design build, the final design won't come in until a little later. So until we get the final design and we choose our technology, we won't know if we need the full 5.95 or if we need 4 or if we need 3. So then we got the option, so we have an agreement with them that we're going to purchase it per acre. So if we need to purchase 3, it'll be 3 times the 8404. If we need to purchase 4 or whatever, just the math of it, right?
It allows him to retain some of the property then as
Yeah,
well.
because it's family land and it's got a sentimental value, I guess.
Okay, I have a question. So
Hold on,
doesn't,
we don't motion on the,
no, I just have a question
Okay.
before we do a motion.
okay.
Doesn't option two kind of negate option one anyway?
Mhm.
So if we say option two, that we're willing to pay a certain amount per acre for the land, if we go back to the guy and he says, well, buy it all, option two looks after that, option two as well, right? If he says 4 acres or the
Yes,
entirety of
all option
At the
two
end
is
of it, it's still the same,
giving
yeah.
us as staff the ability to go to the property owner and say, listen, we may not need it all, but we may need it all,
it. Okay,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, but you're right, it gives us both options.
right,
Yeah. So,
okay.
So, so with that understanding, there are two options here, and I've read this wrong. I do apologize. What I'll do is I'll bring forward the second motion, option number 2. And the motion is motion to enter into an agreement with a property owner at 17 Pump House Road to purchase the required amount of property as per the water treatment plant design at a rate of $8,404 per acre. Any land retained by the property owner will be taxed as per town requirements. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you. We talked about the
Excuse
great.
me, what do we do then with option number 1?
We're gonna
There's a
do it.
motion there.
We
I'm
didn't put
just,
forward
no, let's just, you had two
Okay.
options, one or the other, right?
okay, I'm just thinking that there was a motion there to,
By going with option 2, you negate option 1, that's all.
That's a good point, though, for the deputy mayor to ask that about clarity for the public. Maybe if we could put a note in the meeting minutes saying that council decided to choose option 2,
Exactly, yeah.
and that option 2 was left to not, at least if we have that laid out there, and if there's questions in future years as we go look back, that it's very clear what we decided tonight. Good
Yeah.
point, Deputy Mayor.
Not a problem.
All right, so we talked about the Great Pond water supply, understanding that the planning department is working on that. Wastewater testing and requirements are ongoing. Flow meter numbers are fairly consistent. The recycling education has been going out. It's great to know, and thank you for the work that you've done around that, Brian. I also want to note that the funding for that came from MMSB, so it was great for us to be able to avail of those resources and provide magnets for the whole of the community so that they could know when the recycling is happening and when their garbage pickup is happening. So thank you for your work on that, Director and team. Traffic calming policy. We had a conversation about Forest Landing area and understanding that the The box that we use over there to collect the data right now is not functioning the way that it needed to, so the director had taken it off to get it fixed and sorted out. Mayor, if I could, this is a huge issue, not just in Torbay, it's a huge issue all across the province. But I gotta say, you know, the answer to traffic calming is people slowing down and being aware of what you're doing. And if your children are out on a motorbike, being aware of what they're at and talking about safety. On my way here tonight, I passed a young fella on a dirt bike coming up the bowling line, and he was on loose gravel with a vehicle come behind him, and I was praying for the poor dear to be safe on my way here. It's absolutely terrifying as a parent of a young driver and a young fella on his pedal bike who wants to go out and visit with his buddies and drive around this community. And it's also terrifying watching someone's child, who I don't even know who it was, tattering up the road tonight and their wheels just going with the vehicle behind them. So please, please, please slow down, talk to your family, talk to your kids. Let's take what we can, you know, think about your neighbors and listen to the rearing and the roaring up and down the road. I know Councillor Tapper's done a lot of work around the loud exhaust noises and stuff. Let's be neighborly. Let's have respect for ourselves and each other. Yes, you can have a bit of fun. We all have a bit of fun, but let's do it respectfully and let's make sure we slow down. Kids are back in school. We really need to do something around this. So
To that point, I heard several reports on the news the weekend of dirt bikes and ATVs being stopped and impounded by the RNC, and the parents being charged or ticketed
yeah.
for allowing the children under a certain age to be operating them. So
Yeah.
the enforcement is starting on that. There's new rules coming out in October for ATVs that you have to have training, so look forward to all that.
And that was one of the thank yous that I have for new business, but I think I'll issue it now. Dropping my children off to school, I have seen more RNC cruisers in this community lately than I have, so I want to issue that thank you to the RNC for the presence in the community. And also dropping the kids off, I've seen RNC cruisers hauling people off there in front of Lorena's to say, sorry, speeding in this space is not okay, which is excellent. And I've also watched them parked there between the daycare and the school where you turn up there. Very visible presence, letting people know that the RNC are in the space. So I wanted to extend a thank you to the RNC for that as well. The fall bulk waste drop-off will be happening October 3rd to 5th, 2024. And the action tracking items are there for infrastructure and public works. Our next committee meeting is September 25th, and that's about it for the update. If there are any questions,
All right,
I'd
thank you.
welcome them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Any questions? All right. Recreation and Community Services, Councillor Manning.
Okay, we had our meeting on September the 12th, and myself and Councillor Appleby with Director Jen Martin there in attendance. First, were the program and events. The fall program and events, I'll just briefly touch on everything there. The registration is ongoing for the fall programs, and the Director has been working with communications concerning the e-services and ensuring the residents are aware of how the accounts should be set up correctly, like prior to registration day. There's been communications gone out on that. Christmas events are in the planning, and registration opens November 18th for residents and the 25th of November for non. We spoke about memorial events. That's the Remembrance Day and July Drive ceremonies. Just a discussion about moving it over to Department of Economic Development, Culture and Tourism because of certainly the history behind it, and Recreation Department and the history staff have been in discussion and are in agreement. So that's something they're working out themselves, and should be fine at the end of the day. Facilities, U3, CP and parks, busy with maintenance on softball fields, soccer fields and other park sites. Tournaments until the end of September. Soccer field condition, this is going to be a big discussion in, well now and in the future until budget time. The director had pictures with showing pieces of the field, and it's like it needs work on it. It needs a lot of work on it. So that's a discussion to have with all of council come with budget time, and to really look hard at see what, if, and where we can go with making that better than what it is in there right now, because it is a busy field. Next one is facility rental user group insurance. This is being discussed. It's about insurance for all user groups who use town facilities. And it's been requested to go to committee of the whole for a full discussion, and because there have been some changes and about liability insurance, and it needs to be discussed further to see where we go forward with that. Under the other, age-friendly assessment plan, a consultant is working on this assessment, has provided an exploring phase report, which will be reviewed by staff and brought back to the committee. Safe Committee's action plan, staff are looking into avenues to ensure the department is creating and providing staff, spaces, and programs. Staff are looking at different initiatives for 2025 as well as timelines for this. So will be discussed. The committee had the big discussion, as Councillor Appleby spoke about earlier, and how this can relate. This relates to bullying and harassment prevention for staff and volunteers in the department. That's an ongoing discussion that we're having with all of that. Pet dog tournaments, softball field rental donations. This has been a discussion, and as we spoke about earlier tonight, how the town can move forward to ensure right decisions are being made and community members and groups are being supported in these decisions. Once again, that's a broader discussion, which will include certainly budget and all of council to see what direction we want to go there. Next one is men's rowing team. Support of a Torbay men's rowing team in 2025, as well as a request to look into a plaque to honour Torbay residents that died in a regatta race in 1884. That was discussed by the committee. The topic was asked by a resident be added. He does Graham Roach actually, who looks after the men's rowing team this past summer. So we've requested a further discussion at committee of the whole as it relates to other topics for discussion that have been added to that as well. There's also discussion that the plaque portion of the request could fall under History House, as it is part of certainly the town's history. So that this one is for discussion to be had and in the very near future. Our next meeting is September the 26th, 2024. Councillor Appleby, would you like to add anything to that?
Thank you, Councillor Manning. If I could, I just want to reiterate the conversation about the Safe Communities Action Plan and the Respect Workplace Policy conversation that we had earlier. And one of the things that we talked about around that is at any town facility, if people are experiencing uncomfortable situations, the conversation that we had at committee was we asked that the director record what's going on, that staff know that they can speak to their director, and that the director has an ongoing record if something is happening, and that is going to be communicated to the CAO, and that we're very clear about a harassment-free environment here and respectful, safe workplace for the town of Torbay. So we want to make sure that it's very clear that if you're having a bad day, if you're frustrated, it happens to all of us. Like, we all make mistakes, but if it's a consistent, ongoing situation and it's documented, then you may get a phone call from the CAO. I did ask tonight that under our Respect Workplace Policy that we do have another look at what council could do in these spaces. Maybe an apology is warranted, or I don't know. But I think it's really important that we put the public on notice and people on notice that this is a safe place to work, and we respect our employees and we respect our residents, and we want everybody to try to communicate respectfully. So thank you for bringing that up. I think that's really important. And the other thing is, I wanted just to touch on the men's rowing team. There seemed to be an understanding in the public that that was a town of Torbay men's crew. And the way that rolled, there was a gentleman who paid the registration himself, and he was, and listen, I'm a rower. I understand the love of rowing. It's a gorgeous sport, and I rowed this summer with John Callahan's crew. But I think that, you know, the town of Torbay, if we're going to have a Torbay something, event, rowing team, whatever it is that we do, I think it's really important that we make sure that the town has officially endorsed it, that we have a budget allocation in place for whatever it is that we're doing, and it's clear that it is a town-sponsored thing. Because in this situation, it seemed that a lot of people thought the town had endorsed it when that wasn't officially what had happened. So I love the idea of a Torbay rowing crew. I think it's fabulous. I think that we should open that and have a look at it. I mean, there's a lot of people in Torbay who row, and they're, you know, doing really well. And our men's crew did really well this year. There are a lot of people in Torbay who've been on championship or are on championship teams. So I definitely think it's something that we should be looking at. And I really think it's great for us to start having conversations about what the town of Torbay is endorsing. Because the conversation happened around, you know, the Pat Daw as well. Like, is that a town event, or is that an event that is done separately, but the town, you know, provides in kind, maybe the field or other things toward, right? So I think it's really important to have that conversation. And from a liability perspective, Mayor, because if, for example, something were to happen and it were a town event, then the town insurance would have to kick in, and there would be requirements for things to be done as per town policy. And so I think it's really important that we do have that committee, the whole conversation. And I thank the committee chair for requesting that, and looking forward to that discussion when the time comes. Thank you.
Okay, Erin, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to speak to that for a second, a couple of different things. Myself and Councillor Appleby had a conversation about this, and I just want to let everybody know that this was in no way, shape, or form a town-supported rowing team. This was just a team that was called Torbay, no different than it was called Outer Cove back in the day. So, yes, it was called Torbay, and just for the record, we did give some swag from the Recreation Department for the team, as we did in previous years, and we've done for other as well. So just let it know, it was not a town-supported thing. We just, it was called Torbay, as it has done in different areas for the past and the
No different than when we had Torbay and Avalon East Hockey League.
no different whatsoever. So, thank you for that. The other thing, I was just curious on the soccer field with the condition. Is this something that has evolved, or just it's been wear and tear, or you know, what have we? Is it something we've overlooked? I'm just curious to see
I'm gonna
exactly.
let Council
Yeah, please.
Director, yep, if you will.
Someone turned her off. There you go.
Okay, I think now. No, nothing really missed. It's just the fact of the matter is there's too much use for one field.
Yep.
If we had multiple fields to use, or if we had turf field, it wouldn't be an issue. It's the fact that there's too many games on the one field. So that field really should have one field. It's meant to be one soccer field. Right now we have 6 fields. So kids are playing this way, kids are playing this way. So it's just normal wear and tear of what would be on the grass. We had Grand Concourse look at it last week to try and see what can be done with it. And right off the bat, he said the solution is turf, because really, we could resod it this year, which we're looking at. We can put fertilization and all that on it, but the reality of it, we'll be in the same boat again next year, because the number of kids is just gonna keep growing. The minor soccer program actually had kids and adults in the gym this summer, because they just don't have the field space to use it. So nothing missed, just not enough. The facility isn't enough to accommodate the use of it.
I think we might have also been a victim of the weather this year. July and August, there was no rain.
It was very dry, of
Golf
course.
courses were down, my lawn, you know, didn't grow, so.
Yeah, thank you for that, Director. I just, my main concern is just, you know, that we have safe facilities for the kids that are using it, and again, not to say anything was missed. That wasn't my intention whatsoever. I just want to make sure our kids are safe and adults are using those facilities.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment?
Oh my God. I just wanted to bring it up about the facility rental, user group insurance. I'm asking, and I know this is emails going back and forth and talking about being an operations issue, but I guess I look at it as might be operations, but as a councillor, deputy mayor, have every right to be able to understand what that's all about. I'm asking that insurance be deferred until January of this year to be implemented. We've had it for so long now, and groups operating over there whereby that did not exist. I think that we should have, there's different options that can be put in place in talking to other towns. I think that anything on a go-forward basis that negatively affects the residents of the town, especially from a financial position, that it should be discussed at a committee of the whole so that we all have a proper understanding of the implications of that. Going forward, I know with this year's budget, we've talked about potentially having all of the groups there pay. There's any number of different things that are on the table from a financial perspective to know where you're to over at the Common. And right now, I don't think I've ever seen so many people. Even in church yesterday morning, somebody turned around because they said they had to have it implemented by last week. If not, they wouldn't be able to use facility. If that's right or wrong, I don't know. I'm not going there, but I think there's a lot more information and how we go about doing this and the different realities or the different perceptions that are out there. So I'm asking that it's not be put in place until, if at all possible, I know you've got it in there about having a meeting with the committee of the whole for further discussion. But I mean, there's different groups that are basically saying if they got to pay the insurance and pay the rental of the facility, that their programs are not going to be able to go ahead. So I think that it all need to be laid out so that we know exactly what we're dealing with, because I always say it's hard to know what it is that I don't know. So I can't, right now, what they're saying to me, I agree with some of them, what they're saying. So I'd ask for consideration to have it deferred, because they're saying now for the next committee to hold, it's another 2 weeks.
No, we're going to talk about that tonight.
I didn't know that. So I'm always saying, I don't know what it is that.
I was going to bring that up at the end.
Okay, I didn't know that, so, you know, that's good, but, okay.
Councillor Manning requested that.
Yeah,
So
no,
if we can get through this meeting.
Yes.
I know, but I just
then we'll
want to
have
say
time
on a
to
go-forward basis, because anything that's affecting our residents on in a negative way, so, okay, we might
In
get.
response to that, though, we did speak about it at committee. And for the record, public record, I was on the Recreation and Services Committee when we opened the Torbay Common. And this council has adopted and implemented policies around insurance. And we did that when T. Knockham was the director, and myself and Councillor Peggy Roach were on that committee. And so, to be very clear for the public record, it is and has been required since that facility has been opened for user groups to provide insurance and proof of insurance for use at the facility. That is not new. That is how it's been. That policy has been in place. That has been what the operational staff have been required to follow. So I want to make that clear for the public record. And I think that it's really important that people understand, because the deputy mayor just referenced to it again, and you know, realities and perceptions and conversations in the community, and people are talking about things but not really understanding what the reality is. I don't know if it's on the public website, but if it's not, I'll ask that it is added so that it's very clear what our policies are, what are adopted, what's expected. At the same time when we were doing this stuff, if you had a food truck and you wanted to put your food truck there, we went through all the work to making sure that you had the right permit, the right licenses for food safety, and all those things were sorted. So I think it's really important to make sure that if we as a town are setting policies and directives, that we are sharing them publicly, people can understand. And then if you are at church or the grocery store, wherever else, and someone asks you about it, you can defer them to what council has adopted. And listen, in all fairness, we're not going to remember every single policy that council has adopted out in the public all the time. I'm busy, family, life, all of us won't know that all the time. But if decisions are made, they should be public, they should be out there. And then it's equal fair opportunity. It's the same conversation we had about rentals earlier. There should be policies in place. Staff should know what to do. And then it is an operational issue, and it's not a one-off being asked to do something.
For the public record, I'd like to say that even though we may have had a policy in place since the common was open, that it has not been followed, and not knowing the ramifications of it. And that's why I'm asking that we all have a right to understand and fully know the implications. There's been many different councils since then, so if I'm asked a question, I will say that I'll go back and get clarification. So once again, for the record, I'm asking, depending on the outcome of this tonight, if it has not been followed, then residents do not know what the implications and what that means, and we need to further inform residents on a go-forward basis. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Liaison committees, Atlantic Mayor's Congress had no update. Intergovernmental affairs, we continue to meet with MP Thompson and officials from the federal government, from transportation, and now soon to be Infrastructure Canada, to talk about our Great Palm Water project. CAO is keeping track of those communications and those lines open. Jack Byrne.
On the report, we're meeting now shortly in October.
Okay. Thank you. Northeast Avalanche Joint Council. Mayor.
We had a really good meeting on Wednesday night past. It went on, normally the meetings go on for approximately an hour, but we went into pretty much over almost 2 hours. We did have the RNC and the RCMP there, and they emphasized the fact of what's happening now, as you alluded to earlier. Everyone is looking at this as there's a big education that needs to be discussed. Sergeant Slaney was there, and I guess talking about coming down. I don't know, CAO, if we've got a date
No, not
from
yet.
him, because he's...
Yeah. I've got a note actually to follow up, because when I mentioned him on the summer, and they were on vacation, so that should all be over now.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a matter of
So he's
reaching out
just
again.
waiting
Yeah.
for follow-up with you, and maybe we
Yeah.
could have it for the different towns. There's a man, Noseworthy, in, I think it's CBS, that former RCMP, and who's doing a lot of this training in the schools and in the communities, and sound really good, the fact that them actually doing the training for our youth in the schools. So there was a lot of, like I said, really good information that came from that, and hopefully in the next few weeks we can get them to come in. And you said there's new regulations and everything, so it'll be timely, and maybe we could do that as something for the Northeast Avalon rather than even for Torbay. So again, it was a good meeting, and the next one is in October.
Okay. Thank you. RNC, well, that was just the update.
Yeah.
We can hear back from them about having our public
I'll follow
meeting.
up with them.
Torbay Volunteer Fire Department. Councillor Manning.
The minutes are there for everyone's review. They're doing business as norm over there, and a good job at it.
Thank you. UMC, Deputy Mayor.
I didn't come prepared for thinking about the UMC, but I would say I didn't get there the first morning because I had a funeral. I thought that it was one of the best meetings that I've attended in a long time with the group. And the information was very pertinent to all of the groups that were there. And it's good to see everybody, I guess, participating in that particular way. I would also say that our mayor does a fine job in chairing that group. And it's amazing when you go there and the information that's being shared with the networking, no more so than even what's on the agenda, which says about thinking about Northeast Avalon Joint Council, because we're still doing them by Zoom, but the importance of doing it in getting together.
Can't beat face to face.
Yeah, yeah, you can't, so, yeah, no.
Okay, all right, excellent, and I agree, it was a good meeting. Once we get the notes come out, we'll add them to the council package.
It was interesting that some of the towns there, they say that they take as part of the committee of the whole meeting after that meeting and go down over those meetings, really the whole agenda. And I thought was really good because as a councillor, I often don't see them, but there's really good, Mr. Mayor, really good information that comes from them that I think it's worthwhile, all of council, knowing what's coming forward, right?
And I think, and I'm grateful to Eminel that when I went back and reached out to them and asked, could we send a representative to represent our town besides just me, because I'm chairing the meeting and I'm not there to speak on behalf of Torbay.
Very hard for you to be able.
But it's great to have other members of our council there and our staff.
It's a learning experience even for the staff and that do participate as well. So it's all good experience, and thank you for the opportunity to attend that one.
Okay, perfect. Notices of motion, we have none. Okay. New business, Councillor Tapper. Was he on earlier and said that he was going to do something?
He disappeared.
He passed.
He passed. He's gone.
His.
I think he
He was
passed.
just there.
Councillor Manning.
Okay, I wanted to send out a huge congratulations to Fire Chief and his lovely wife, Shalane, right?
Yep.
Sorry about that. On the birth of their first child, a very healthy little man whom they're calling Hunter. He was born on August 27th, weighing in at 9 pounds, 10 ounces. They had a little bouncer. They're quite happy. Mom and baby are doing fabulous. And Dad is doing really good too.
Some head of hair.
Yep. So I want to send out a congratulations to them on the next chapter of their life. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Pollard passed. Councillor Appleby.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to do a thank you to our staff. It's been quite a spell since I've done a thank you to the staff in the round table, so thank you to our staff for everything that you do. I also wanted to put a thank you out to the Tomcats. I joined a Learn to Play Hockey program a little while ago, and it's a bunch of women teaching women who don't know how to play hockey, how to play hockey. And I had a goal to learn to play hockey by the time I turned 50. So I'm in that space, but I gotta say, this bunch of women, they are always there to encourage you, help you out, lift each other up. There were 40 women in that program, a number of them from the town of Torbay, and it was great to see the Northeast, Eagles stuff and whatnot there, or in conversations. But there were women from this community who showed up, participated. I was one of them. It was a brilliant program. It was absolutely magic. So thank you to them. And also a thank you to Andrew and Adam Piercy from the Vision Hockey Group. They've actually created a women's power hockey program that they've advertised and sold out the first one in one day. So they put a second one on now. So for Saturday and Sundays, women will be learning how to play hockey and do power skating. So anyone who's interested, they can check that out. The congratulations that I wanted to put out there was to John Callahan and team for the work that they did on the mental health run. Thank you to our staff and the support that we have. And thank you, Brian, for volunteering your time that day for being there. But that's a really important event. And I just wanted to make sure that it's on record that they're congratulated for the great work they do, recognized, and a thank you to them. So thank you for that, Mayor.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you. I'm not losing track. I think Councillor Goss said he had something to say.
I did not, sir.
Okay. Oh, you passed. All right, Deputy Mayor.
I just want to pass along happy birthday greetings to Douglas, my grandson, who turned sweet 16 today. So I hope it's not just today, he's having a great day, but I hope, Douglas, that you have the best year ever this year, leading, going forward and being 16. Sweet 16, when I think back at it and thinking about when I was 16 and I wish I knew some of the stuff that I know now, right?
But your son, it was his birthday the other day too?
Oh, yes, and Martin, yeah, Martin's birthday. Martin always keeps reminding me that he's been forgotten about since the grandchildren came along. So his birthday was yesterday, so happy belated birthday, Martin. I know you just love having your mother wishing you happy birthday like this online.
All right.
Thank you, Craig.
As always, I want to thank staff for the work that you put in since our last meeting and that you do all the time. It was great to get together the other day with you on a function. It was a lot of fun and much needed break. I also want to thank our residents for contacting us and raising concerns and issues that they think are important for the town. As I've always said ever since I've been here, these 7 people around this table and our staff, we don't know everything. And, you know, it's great to get ideas and comments and stuff from our public to encourage us or to spur us to do things in a certain direction. So, one other thing I got to say, and I want to say congratulations and thank you to Captain Carly Slaney from 508 Caribou Air Cadets, who are now set up and operating out of Holy Trinity High School, and reached out to us to let us know that they're going to be available. They want to participate in town events, and they're going to be available to volunteer. So it's I know that they've been really trying to get down here for a long time. We've been tossing them back and forth, trying to get them into the common or into another town facility. I'm so happy that they were able to get into the high school. Cadets is awesome. I was in there when I was a kid. I know my son was in the Air Cadets, and it's a great outlet for young people to be able to learn leadership skills and things that help them in their life. So congratulations and thank you to them, and I look forward to working with them. Now, Q&A. Robbie, you got nothing? Well, there's nobody else here, so perfect. Next council meeting will take place, I believe, on September 30th, 2024, October 1st. September 30th is a Monday.
September 30th is the day.
Oh, is it?
Truth and Christmas.
Okay, October 1st then it is. The only reason I took a guess because it's not written here. It just says next public council meeting is scheduled to take place 6:30 here in the council chambers. And I just confirmed it's going to be October 1st. All right, and with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Move.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. All right.